What's it like to be a high school student athlete in 2023? We'll ask Schley County's Carson Westbrook right after this.
Welcome to the Integrity Sports Podcast, covering local sports in the Southwest Georgia area, creating content that is factual, positive, and informative, promoting efforts by athletes, coaches, and sports administrators. Now, here's your host, Tim Estes.
Hello again, and thank you for making the Integrity Sports Podcast a part of your weekly routine. Our program is available on 10 different platforms now, and it's growing each week. I would like to ask you to like and share this video on whichever platform that you're viewing this on today. Also, we're attempting to build our YouTube presence even more, so make sure and go to YouTube, type in the search bar Integrity Sports Podcast, and hit the subscribe button for us. That'll help us out a lot and help us build that YouTube presence. Our guest today is Schley County High School student athlete Carson Westbrook. Carson, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Coach.
Carson, I know you're in the middle of a baseball season right now, and I definitely want to get to some baseball talk a little later in the broadcast. But I want to start our conversation off today talking about football. And specifically the recruiting process. And what I want to do, let's start by you telling us about this past football season. Give me just a brief rundown of how the football season went all the way to the state championship and just a recap of your season personally.
All right, Coach, we went to the state championship, from our beginning summer practices, our coaches made sure that we knew that we had goals that we wanted to make. And we came short to Macon County last year in the region championship and came short to Metter in the Elite Eight. And immediately our goal was we want to win the first region championship in Schley County's history. And then we want to go on to make it to the state championship and then eventually win the state championship. And we won a region championship, made it to the state championship, and we just fell short to a really senior-loaded team. And we're really junior-loaded, sophomore-loaded team, and I think next year we're going to be a senior-loaded team. And my career, or this past season, I had a pretty decent season. Our coaches really made it possible, and the players. A lot of my success goes out to them. I had 5 interceptions, and that definitely goes out to some of my teammates. When you have Jalewis Solomon at corner, Clinton Jackson at corner, and KB at safety, they see a white boy back there. They definitely want to throw it his way. So I think and especially Coach Peavy and Coach McCorkle drawing up, and all our coaches just getting us prepared for that.
Carson, let's throw the cards on the table. I've known you since you were a young child, and coming into high school, you were kind of small framed, I guess, as a 9th grader would be the best way to put it. And you were, I think, by all accounts, expecting to be a baseball guy. Is that pretty fair?
Yes, sir. That's absolutely.
And then you go through that freshman year of football and you get into summer camp, and going into your sophomore year, your body started to develop a little bit. You started learning more about the game with the great coaches you have there at Schley County. And you had a ton of interceptions as a sophomore and just a really good breakout year. You follow that up as a defensive back in your junior year, make it all the way to the state championship. And now several schools are starting to show some interest in you on the football field. So talk to me a little bit about the journey as far as football recruiting is concerned and where that process is right now.
Oh, it's been a wild ride, this recruiting process. It definitely takes a toll on you, though. You're sending your film out probably an hour to 2 hours a day, just sending film out to coaches, and you'll be lucky if 1 out of the 10 coaches even responds. So it definitely takes a toll on you, but I wouldn't trade it for anything else. This process has helped me to visit some amazing places. Like last year, I visited Harvard, UPenn, upstate New York. It's been amazing, and the support I've had along the way with my coaches, my family, my teammates. It makes it all worthwhile.
Carson, you mentioned some of those schools you went to visit, and that kind of leads me into the academic portion of this. And knowing you like I do, and I think anybody that knows you from the Schley County area, knows that the academics is a big part of who you are. As you go through this recruiting process, what are some of the things that you're looking for on the academic side as you look at these schools?
Well, it's no secret that I wanna go to a top tier academic institution. Just like any athlete who's a top tier athlete wants to go to their top athletic institution like Alabama or Georgia football, I want to go to a top academic institution just to push myself just like athletes will at their athletic institutions, and also push myself athletically at these academic institutions.
I know here recently I saw on Facebook where you took a trip up to Georgetown. Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, it was amazing. Their campus is great. You know, the atmosphere is amazing. I'm actually wearing their crew neck right now. But I mean, their campus, it was just amazing. It was perfect. It was all cleaned up. I haven't been to one like it. Even at the ones I took last year, Georgetown was great. Their coaches are really cool, and they show a lot of interest.
And let's expound a little bit on this, Carson, because you bring something out that I think a lot of folks in my generation aren't really aware of how this works. But you mentioned the social media aspect of this and how you're not just emailing coaches, but you're hitting them up on Twitter and you're shooting them Snapchats and things like that. How much time do you take, not just your coaches? We know your coaches are marketing multiple people on your team, but how much time do you take personally to communicate with these schools?
It's probably an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours a day, an hour minimum a day. I'm talking to coaches. I'm sending my film out, replying to them. I mean, it's a time-consuming thing that you just go throughout your day, and that's probably about the time I spend.
Well, today's program is brought to you by Marty McDonald State Farm Insurance. Marty's office is located at 925 North Martin Luther King Boulevard here in Americus. Drop by and see Marty or any of his staff, or you can give them a call at 928-3686. They would be happy to sit down with you and discuss your insurance needs. And as always, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. So, Carson, we've talked a little football. I know tonight you're coming off a track meet. As we're speaking tonight, you had a track meet, and is this the first year you've run track?
This is the first year I've run track.
So give me a rundown of what you did today. What events were you involved in?
Today I was in the 100-meter, the 200-meter, the 4x1, and I tried high jump today. So
how'd you do?
I did pretty good. I think the 200, I came in third. I did pretty well in the 100, and our 4x1 team came first in the whole meet. So that was definitely great. High jump. We won't get into high jump.
Carson, we've talked football, we've talked recruiting, now we've hit track. Before we get into baseball, I know you delved into basketball this year. Give me a rundown of how the basketball season went for you.
It was a ride, you know. I mean, we didn't have the best record on paper, but we definitely had fun. You know, we had some really good guys on that team that made it worthwhile. We had a good coach with Coach Scott. He coached us up, and we didn't have the most talent, but we definitely tried hard whenever we went out there.
So you've played football, you've played basketball, you're running track at the same time now that baseball's going on. And I know your baseball team, as Schley County has every year, it seems, has a great record. Last I checked, it was about 14-5 after yesterday. Is that right?
Yes, sir. That's right.
So 14-5. Give me a little rundown of the Schley County baseball so far this season, and what are they looking like as you head into region play and the state playoffs?
Well, we've definitely had some adversity this season. You know, one of our hottest bats, Trent Stubbs, you know, he had an injury a couple weeks ago, but he's back, and we're firing on all cylinders now. We've got some great seniors leading the team. We've got some great coaches leading the team. Our bats are picking up. Our fielding's improved a lot since the beginning of the season, that's for sure. And I think just together as a team, I don't think I've been on a team at Schley County that has come back from pressure as well as we have. We've been down so many times this season and just come out and blown our opponents out at the end of the game. And that's just, I think we've matured as a team. A lot of this team has played together for a while. A lot of this team has a lot of experience at the varsity level already. And I think we have a really good chance. Charlton's coming back. They put us out last year in the Elite Eight. Wilcox is definitely going to be a really strong team. And after we played them in football like we did, they've got something to prove. So those two are definitely going to be challenges with us.
Carson, you came into high school, like I said, as kind of that baseball guy. That's what you expected of yourself. Now that you're in your junior year, you got one more year after this. Is there any mindset from Carson Westbrook that maybe you could do this as a two-sport athlete at the college level?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've talked to coaches about it, and a lot of coaches are all for it, and some are a little bit hesitant. So it all depends on where I end up at and what the main coach wants me to do, because whatever sport I'm there for, I'm going to be committed to that sport. And if he doesn't want me to do any other sports, that's what I'm going to do.
Gotcha. So one of the things that's been interesting to me about you, I am personal friends with all of the coaches at Schley County, but especially close with the baseball staff. I'm also close with your family, so I get to hear things on both sides. And it's really neat to hear them talk about the All-American kid. You're the guy that they don't have to worry about whether he's going to be passing and be eligible academically. You try to do things the right way. You got a good work ethic and you got talent. And that's what all baseball coaches are hoping for. And they talk good about you. I want to hear you talk about your coaching staff, all those guys, and what that's been like to be around such a good group of coaches.
We have an unreal coaching staff at Schley County. I've never had coaches like this at anywhere else, travel ball. These coaches, I never have ever questioned whether any of our coaches want what's best for me or anybody else on my team. Every single coach on the football staff, they're there on Sundays getting film ready, getting their scripts throughout the week. They put in so much work that we don't see. And our baseball staff, they took a chance on me as a freshman, and I will always be grateful for that. And they always see the best in me, and they always correct me. They never let me – if they know I'm doing something wrong, they make sure to let me know. And I'm glad they do that. I'm glad they think that they can do that to me. Every single one of our coaches, and the coaches that coach both of them, they want what's best for all their players, and that's what I love about all our coaches.
Carson, every week when I have a guest on, one of the favorite topics is always about their family. And I've interviewed a lot of coaches, a lot of sports administrators, and no question, as an adult, it's important to have good family support because those coaches and administrators are spending so much time on the ball field or on the court, whatever the sport may be. I want you to talk a little bit about your family, your mom, your dad, your brother, and your sister, and what it's meant to you as a young high school student athlete to have the support of those guys. Tell us a little bit about those folks in your family, and then talk a little bit about the support that they give you.
My family is my rock. I have two amazing male role models in my life. My brother, he's a missionary. He's amazing. He's always there for me no matter what. He's now a campus minister at Georgia Southern, and he's just the Christian guy that I want to be like. And my sister also, she's always there for me. She's I see a lot of herself in me. If you tell her she can't do something, she's definitely going to prove you wrong, and she's probably going to tell you that she proved you wrong. And my mom, she's the most godly woman I've ever met. She's the nicest woman I've ever met. There's no one else out there like my mom. And my dad is my rock. He supports me throughout everything. He's always there for me. He pushed me athletically, and my mom pushed me academically. So there's a nice little balance there. My dad, I have no question that he'll do anything for me. And I know, he's probably going to be listening to this tape in a Subaru, every day of the week. I'm going to get in there, and this is probably going to be playing in there. And he's my number one fan. And I'm just thankful for everyone in my family.
Carson, one thing I figured out about your sister, Lily, if we need to go on a trip, and I think she's already gone on a trip, one of your recruiting trips with you. Is that right?
Yes, sir. She went to Georgetown with me.
she has figured this thing out on airfare and how to move around these big cities. And so if you need travel tips, Lily Westbrook is the person to call, right?
I have no idea.
So, Carson, now that you're wrapping up your high school career, I'd like to talk a little bit about academics. So you've told us academics is important, but do you have a specific field that you're looking at as you get to be an adult? Kind of what field of study do you want to go into?
I'm completely undecided right now. I mean, both my brother and sister went in the medical field, and there's always I might want to do what they did, but engineering, I really enjoy engineering and the math part of it. I love that. I love trading stocks and I love economics. So there's so many fields that I'm interested in, and a lot of these schools I'm interested in, they don't make you choose a major until your second year. They won't even let you consider choosing a major your first year. So I'm open to anything right now.
Pretty neat. And let's talk a little bit about the Georgia Southern trip. That's what just happened recently. You went to a junior day at Georgia Southern. Tell me about that.
Well, I knew my way around there since both my brother and my sister went there, and that's all these other recruiting trips. You know, they're not FBS. They don't have the facilities that Georgia Southern has, and they don't have the fields that Georgia Southern has. And Georgia Southern will always be special to me because I spent a lot of my games there when I was younger, visiting there. You know, playing with other kids there, watching my brother and sister there, not play there, but just being there with them, I made some really fun memories there. It was definitely a special time going back there and being able to take pictures. And the coaches there, they're very nice. They're nice to me now. I mean, that's how it always goes. But I mean, it was just a really fun trip. I enjoyed it.
Carson, as we get ready to wrap this up today, one of the things I want to talk about is your high school experience. We titled this program, "What's It Like to Be a High School Student Athlete in 2023?" You've been blessed with very good academics there at Schley County with some amazing teachers and administrators. You've had a great athletic experience so far. I want to hear from your perspective. You know, we say, hey, Carson, when you get 10 years down the road, what are you going to look back on and be thankful for? So tell our audience that's watching this today, what's it like to be a student athlete at the high school level in 2023?
I can't say this for all our high schools, but at Schley County, it's an amazing atmosphere. Every single teacher there wants what's best for you. And even our counselors, our superintendent, Mr. Hall, Coach Calhoun, Coach Tice, they're always there for you. If you need anything, they're going to help you out, and they never hesitate to do so. All our teachers, they push you academically, but they're also there for you if you need help. They're not going to just lead you astray. Just Schley County as a whole, the coaches, like there's everybody, every single person there wants what's best for every single student, not just me, not just the athletes. They want what's best for everybody, and I can't just name a few people that I'm going to remember down the road because there's so many in Schley County, and I definitely leave some out. So
for coaches that are watching this today, and we know that as you're in the recruiting process now, whatever sport it's in, coaches, once they get to a point where they go, yeah, we're really interested in this guy, they kind of stalk your social media, don't they? I mean, they want to make sure they're getting a guy that's got pretty good character. What would you want coaches that are stalking your social media? If they see you on here today, what do you want them to know about you?
Well, first, I don't want to know that I put my team first, you know. I want what's best for everybody on the team. And I think this past year, I've never been on a football team like this past one where every single person on the team wanted what's best for the team. And every single person on the team just wanted to come out at the end of the game on the winning side. And they put team success over personal success. And so did all the coaches. And so I think what I want them to know is just I'm a team player and just a hard worker.
Gotcha. Today's program, in addition to Marty McDonald State Farm, has also been brought to you by WMNZ AM 1050 out of Montezuma, Georgia. Starting this week, you'll be able to catch our weekly podcast on WMNZ AM 1050. They'll take the audio off of this and put it on their radio station each Thursday. So thanks to Lance Till and the fine folks there at WMNZ for being a part of the Integrity Sports Podcast. Carson, it's my belief that when folks see this, you don't find too many high school athletes that are as well-spoken, as comfortable, and as talented as you. So just on behalf of all of our folks here, we want to thank you for being a part of this, and we hope several other student athletes in our area will take advantage of this platform and be a part of it. But thanks for being our first student athlete on the Integrity Sports Podcast.
Well, Coach Estes, I can't thank you enough. You talked about what I'll remember down the road, and I still remember you taking time with me when I was going to try out for the middle school baseball team, and I was hoping I'd make that. And you took time with me on a Sunday afternoon, and I still use the bucket of balls you gave me to this day. So thank you.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you very much. And we want to thank you for making the Integrity Sports Podcast a part of your weekly routine. We are growing rapidly, averaging over 1,000 views each week on 10 different platforms. I do need to ask a favor of everybody that watches this today. If you're watching on any other platform or YouTube, go to YouTube, type in the search bar Integrity Sports Podcast, and simply hit the subscribe button. It's very important that we build this YouTube presence. We hit the 100 subscriber mark today. Within the next few months, we want to make that 1,000, and that's our goal. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers. But again, thanks for watching us. For Carson Westbrook, I'm your host, Tim Estes. Thanks for watching. So long, everybody.